Hi guys and girls, I'm Obsidian Ant and welcome back to Elite Dangerous. As revealed previously, the September update will arrive with a new in-game currency called ARX. Now Frontier did release a bunch of information about this new currency and they also discussed it at Lavecon. However, there's still a lot of questions about it, so I'm going to go through the available information in this video. I'll also talk about the concept of ARX itself and give some of my thoughts and feelings about it towards the end of the video. So ARX then is what could be called a premium currency, and as expected it can be purchased with real world money. Alongside this, with the September update, the entire Elite Cosmetic store will be bought directly inside the game, and it's here where players will be able to spend ARX in order to buy cosmetics. It's also worth mentioning that Frontier have stated that the only thing you'll be able to buy with ARX are cosmetics and related items, so that means paint jobs, weapon colours, Kovas and things like that. Essentially, Frontier were keen to point out that players won't be able to buy gameplay affecting items such as ships, weapons and modules, so keeping it strictly away from pay to win. ARX also are not a replacement for in-game credits and all things that they can purchase will remain exactly as they are now. So if we really look at this, things aren't too much of a departure from how things work right now, and indeed how they have always worked. At least for console players, it's more of a larger step for PC players. On both the Xbox and the PlayStation 4, players have always had to purchase Frontier points, a Frontier store currency. These points can be purchased directly from Microsoft and the PSN stores. Frontier points then are used to buy in-game cosmetics for Elite Dangerous. ARX will work in a similar way, more or less the same way actually, except PC users will now also have to use this same method. As it stands right now, PC users can buy cosmetics directly from the Frontier website, so this is one of the things that will be changing. Frontier have also said that they want the functionality of the cosmetic store to be the same across all platforms. Also, for those of you who may already purchased Frontier points and have a balance on your account, these points will be converted over to the equivalent value of ARX once the new update drops. So bottom line then is that this is going to be a bit of a larger change for PC users and somewhat of a smaller change for console users. Perhaps the biggest change for how cosmetic purchases will work though is that ARX will also be earnable in-game. This means that once the September update arrives, it will be possible to earn all cosmetics by playing the game. Now Frontier haven't said the rate at which ARX will be earnable, and we don't yet know how much respective items will cost. The images that Frontier released show non-finalised figures after all. However, it does appear that there will be a limit to the number of ARX that can be earned each week. ARX that isn't spent can then be kept for the following weeks. Frontier also haven't clarified precisely how currency will be earned. However, it does seem that it might be based on time, at least to some degree. Here's what Frontier has to say on this. Commanders will be able to acquire cosmetic items simply by playing the game. We won't ask commanders to change how they play. Simply being an active player and engaging with the game is all that's required. At a guess, and pure speculation here, but maybe some type of login bonus that you can gain when logging out of the game. Alternatively, it could be an additional reward for current in-game activities. However, Frontier have said that they will not be changing the rewards for the existing mission system. So maybe, just perhaps, it's going to be time-based or login-based. We'll have to see. Also, for those wondering, it has been stated that Elite Dangerous will not be going free to play. Now, before I move on to discussing my thoughts on the ARX system, at least based on what we know so far, I'd like to mention that my biggest issue with the cosmetics in Elite, at least up until this point, has always been that many of the paint jobs feel a little on the basic side. At least that's how I personally feel about them. But it looks like this may be changing as the paint job render system is going to get some new improvements. So this should mean hopefully some slightly more complex paint jobs for ships. I'm hoping to see much better paint jobs in the future. Also, the livery system will be accessible from the main menu, meaning that players will be able to customize their ships anywhere at any time, even when you're thousands of light years away from a space station. So that's pretty much all the information we have at the moment, but it does give us a good idea of how things are going to work. Frontier should be releasing more details over the coming weeks. Now, when I first heard about the ARX currency, I knew that at least for a part of the elite player base, they wouldn't be too happy about it, and I can totally understand that, for the very simple reason that it puts elite's microtransactions in a far more front and centre location. They're no longer going to be confined to a livery screen tucked away on some space station, but we will instead get a constant reminder about microtransactions, or at least likely to get a constant reminder with a very visible indicator of our current ARX balance. And that's without mentioning the likely notification we're going to get every time we earn some in-game ARX. So it certainly is a change, and for some people it's going to be far more of an issue than for others. But all that said, I really haven't seen too many people having any real complaints about that. After all, microtransactions have always been a part of Elite, at least for many years at this point, and the alternate currency also isn't new, as Frontier points have always existed on consoles. So when we get down to it, ARX is far more of a rebranding than anything else. But again, it brings them directly in-game and does make them far more visible. Overall then, personally, and this is just my own opinion on this, yours will no doubt vary, but overall, I feel that earnable ARX is a very good move for Elite. It's an additional thing that players can achieve in-game, and other games such as Warframe, Black Desert, Rocket League and many others have been doing this for many years now. Cosmetics can be a huge part of a game without negatively affecting it, but don't get me wrong here, I'm not saying that earnable cosmetics are a replacement for new and improved gameplay. New game mechanics are something that I always want, but earnable cosmetics are certainly a good thing for players who are focused on achieving set goals, and there are a lot of various cosmetics out there and game extras as well to unlock. The main thing for me then is that so long as Frontier ensure that they never go into pay-to-win territory with ARX, then it's all fine. And all that said, I do believe that earnable in-game ARX will either live or die depending on how Frontier balance this. The real issue here is that earnable currency, a currency which can also be purchased with real-world money, places a monetary value on time spent in the game. For the first time, players will be able to visualize just how much a set amount of in-game time can be valued at, simply based on how many ARX that are earned during that same period. For example, how long will it take to earn enough ARX to buy a Kovas, paint job or ship kit? On the one hand then, what it means is that if this takes too long, players are going to feel undervalued. On the other hand, if it's too quick, then there's going to be no reason for players to actually go out and spend real-world money. And let's be honest here, that is what this is all about. Frontier are a business and they want people to buy cosmetics. So ultimately, whilst it certainly will be possible to earn cosmetics in-game, Frontier certainly won't want that replacing people actually physically buying them. So it's going to be a balance, and it's one that can be very difficult to strike correctly. I'm definitely very interested to see how Frontier pull this off, because it has some fantastic potential, but a misstep with ARX to in-game earning will certainly be very much a problem. Ultimately though, my own thoughts on the matter aside, it seems that many people are actually pretty happy with the whole idea. A few of course are unhappy, which is to be expected. Heck, a few are even complaining that the ability to change cosmetics in deep space is going to break their immersion. Yeah. So as with all things, opinions certainly do vary wildly. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys and girls next time.